Well, I think housing is a major issue across Africa. Most of the people in Africa are living in informal settlements and, they have no dignity. And we're now moving to where we're giving women housing not just as a house to sleep in, but making sure that her dignity is restored, she's respected, and our governments are taking it very seriously. Housing for Liberian.
Well, they differ from one country to another because legislative instruments differ from one country to another. So they are not all similar in cases. But there are similarities where, of course, the issue of financing, raising the money for the implementation of the projects becomes different. But then generally in terms of land ownership, we believe that countries are making progress so that investors can access land without going through the trouble of all the trouble that they're going through now. I mean, that's why in the Gambia we've created 3 stages. You have the customary ownership, which is recognized by the state. You have the freehold ownership, which is recognized by the state. And you have the leasehold ownership that's recognized by the state.
It was an opportunity to present Morocco's experience in developing affordable housing and improving access to housing for the population. As I explained, Morocco has undergone very rapid urbanization over the past 60 years, with the urban population increasing 6-fold. This created major imbalances, including the spread of uninhabitable areas, informal settlements, and growing pressure on infrastructure and housing. To address these challenges, Morocco adopted an integrated approach under the leadership of His Majesty King Mohammed VI to reduce the housing deficit, and it has achieved significant results. To give a few figures, the housing deficit, which stood at 1.2 million housing units at the beginning of the 2000s, has been reduced by 75% over the past 25 years. At the same time, informal settlements have been reduced by 80%. By 2030, ahead of the FIFA World Cup hosted by Morocco, Spain and Portugal, we aim to completely eradicate informal settlements. This progress has been achieved through the mobilization of public funds, the introduction of innovative and adapted financing systems, the involvement of the private sector, and support from banks to improve citizens' access to housing finance. I believe this forum provided an important opportunity to share Morocco's expertise with African countries, and we are ready to support our African partners in reducing their own housing deficits as well.
Today, our role as Kenya was to share our experience in what we are doing on affordable housing. I think our president is the global champion on adequate housing, and he is leading the way. So we are here just to speak to other member states to share our experience on adequate and affordable housing. And that is what we have done. What has Kenya done to be where it is right now? If you remember my closing statement, I said in Kenya, every place is a construction site because there's a need of 250,000 houses annually. How do we achieve that? Kenya has the legal framework that frames on how housing is implemented from the Constitution, from the National Housing Policy, and an Adequate and Affordable Housing Act. Kenya also has an Adequate and Affordable Housing Levy, where Kenyans make contributions so that the country just doesn't rely on the national budget, neither does it just rely on borrowing. You know, borrowing has become a big issue, and many countries are moving away from external funding. So Kenya has mobilized its own funds from its own people to be able to drive the affordable housing agenda.